Oh yeah. So the Twitter timeline is at war. People beefing with each other. I'm glad to not be involved. Remember them days of spending an hour, 2 hours arguing with idiots online? No gracias. Apparently, that dude that's like Javante Davis's press secretary, he got mad at that girl that take pictures, or he said some slick shit about that girl. I don't know why he did that. I think it's because she a fan of Shakur, and he's made it his mission to disparage Shakur, and you already know why he's doing that, because Shakur is really making Javante look bad. And oftentimes that's the name that people now bring up when they want to disparage Javante. They bring up Shakur. So he's taking aim at him to make it seem like that fight isn't necessary. You know, the usual homo shit. What it do, Lalo ese, que lo que, Herb? What it do? You know what I mean? Carlos, we out here. Kane, we out here. Rappahannock Trupping Company, I see you, yo. I see you. George, the last patriot, you already snow, my dude. We out here. Surprisingly, the WBA has gone ahead and ordered a fight between Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa, which really caught me by surprise because the guy who's been fighting in the eliminators is Mirko Coelho of Argentina, and he's been in position for a while now to have that fight. So I guess the WBA is not completely done doing favors to PBC fighters because Brandon, I don't see how he getting to skip ahead like that. And we're gonna talk about that tonight. How do you guys feel? Shout out to my man Quentin. I ain't talked to you in a minute. You gotta jump on the panel, homie. I want to pick your brain about a lot of things because me and Quentin, we go way back, dog. We go way back. We was in college together, used to sell narcotics together. We go like way back there, bro. Talking about 80s back there, Family Matters, all that shit. We was back there. You know? Just to pick his brain and see, you know, what he thinks about a lot of things. Caesar, what it do? Hurricane, what it do? I guess Q. It got to be brown paper bag money to some degree, I guess. But you saw that he had a titty attack about what Tom Brown said. Remember 2 weeks ago he had a titty attack because Tom Brown said he's for the Ali Revival Act. Country, what the fuck are you doing?
Chilling.
Fuck yeah. What do you think about Brandon Figueroa versus Nick Ball?
Bullshit.
Let me go to Q real quick. Q, I ain't get to talk to you in a minute. I missed you, man.
Yo, what's good, B? What's good? What's up with y'all?
What you think about just because I ain't talked to you in a minute? What do you make of Javante and Jake Paul? You know, because it's in the back of everybody's mind. Everybody knows it's gonna be a big event. It's not really a fight. What do you got to say about that shit?
I mean, honestly, this was just the perfect out at the perfect time for Javante. I feel like he was in a position where he really had run out of, quote unquote, big name fights, people that would pay him enough money to, satisfy his demands. And he really got, in my opinion, I think he kind of got found out. It's kind of like that bully in your neighborhood that picks on everybody they know they can beat, but then they pick on somebody they think they can beat and they don't. And now they got to go run and hide. And that's kind of how it came off to me. It's like, all right, he's going to take this Jake Paul fight. Now, all of a sudden, now he wants to retire. Oh, now he doesn't need boxing anymore. Oh, now he doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. And it's just convenient timing, to be honest, that, Jake couldn't get the situation straightened out with AJ with the network situation. From what I understand,
well, they
AJ
also said that the AJ shit, because I saw what Nikisa Badarian said. He said that was always for next year anyway, if they were going to do that. The network thing is definitely a thing. I said that myself, that, well, AJ has a contract that binds him to DAZN, whereas, Jake, he's going to want to bring it to Netflix if they do it. Now, I'm skeptical as to whether or not Jake would do that shit, to be honest. Like, bro,
yeah,
AJ ain't strapped for cash, and he not
No.
running from nobody. You not an alternative to nothing. If he do this, it's because he want to light your ass up. Like if he don't need money, he got money. He got more money than you. He don't
Right.
need money. So if he do this shit, it's to fuck your ass up. Are you really gonna do? And I'm still like, yo, Jake ain't stupid, dog. He not dumb. He not doing that. He not doing
Yeah.
that. No fucking way.
And in my opinion, to be honest, not only is it the fact that AJ has an exclusive contract, but from what I recall, when AJ signed that lifetime deal with Matchroom, it included stakes in the zone from an ownership perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
if you think that him as a owner of a network that he's actively fighting on is going to loan his services and his brand and his notoriety out to a competing network effectively, when, like you just said, he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need Jake to make money. He probably makes the same money fighting a number of other heavyweights in the UK that he would fighting Jake. And he would at least get the credit to say, well, he actually fought a real guy, if he does fight somebody else. So, yeah, I think the Javante situation, man, is just kind of conveniently coming to an end. And then on one aspect, I think it's good because it means that we won't have to be worrying about him anymore if he really does retire. That belt can
Mm-hmm.
get vacated, and we can just move
That,
on
that's
to
that
what
was the
else was
second
done in the division.
question I was going to ask you, Q. That was the second question because a lot of people. I think he's going to retire personally. Maybe in
Yeah,
5 years when he runs out of money, he comes back because he's going to
yeah.
run out of money. But do you feel in your heart of hearts, yeah, he's out of here after this? He's not going to stick around fight nobody. Do you believe he's going to retire?
I mean, I think it's going to be even more difficult for him to go back to regular fights once he makes this Jake Paul check. Because I would assume this Jake Paul check is going to be, I don't know, 25, maybe 30.
They
And
put
if
it
it's
at 40,
somewhere,
bro. They put it at
yeah.
40.
So I'm going to just take the under on that just because whatever is being rumored, I feel like that's kind of, you still got to pay your team. You still got to pay your network for, letting you cross over. You still, there's still some fees to be paid after you get your money. But if he takes home 30, I mean, there's not very many fights he can have in the lightweight division that's going to pay him 30 that he's going to be willing to take. Shakur is
But
really
that's
probably
what
the
I was
only
going
fight
to
he could
say.
ask for.
That's what I
Yeah.
was going to say, that would Turkey give him 30, 40? Because look at look at the numbers that they put out there for Usyk and Fury. What he paid
Right.
them to fight each other, right? That
Yeah.
could Tank get 40 or more for Shakur? I would say yeah, but it's like you said, he don't want to do that though. Like, nah, if you
Yeah.
getting 40 for Jake, you're not going to turn around and then fight Shakur for 40. You're going to want a quadrillion, a quintillion.
Yeah, the best time for him to have fought Shakur would have been right immediately when he moved from 130. When he moved up, he hadn't gotten comfortable at the weight. He hadn't fought Zepeda. He wasn't on pure, tip-top form in the division. I think that would have been the time to do it. But Shakur is high risk for Javante for all of the style reasons that you've outlined that I agree with. Shakur's not going to give you a lot of opportunities to capitalize on mistakes. And that's what he's made his career on. It's on capitalizing on people's offensive mistakes. If you look at all of his knockouts, they're typically when the other guy is trying to throw a punch he probably shouldn't be throwing or throwing from the wrong distance. And that's when he
Mm-hmm.
capitalizes. But Shakur isn't that kind of guy. He's not going to be in there trying to knock you out. So if he's not in there trying to knock you out or trying to hurt you, he's just trying to win rounds on activity. Well, he's going to have a hard time winning rounds. Gervonta don't win rounds. The last time Gervonta won rounds in a fight was the freaking Isaac Cruz fight when he got hurt. That's the
Yeah.
last fight he was winning rounds in. And that
He
was
was
only because he
losing.
had to.
He was losing rounds to Rolly. He was losing rounds to Frank. People tend to forget that Frank Martin fight. He looked fucking terrible in that fight. He
The
looked
first
awful.
5 rounds for sure.
He
For
looked
sure.
awful in that fucking fight. So I mean, we agree that he's gonna retire. I personally think, like, yeah, dog, you're not gonna give 40 for Jake and then roll the dice with Shakur for that same amount of that shit ain't gonna happen, right?
Right.
That's done. That's done. Let me read this super chat. George, outside of Tank fans, people want Jake to do a job. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something, George, and I'm gonna go to you with this, Q. I don't think that's a real fight, bro.
Nah.
I wanted to believe the hullabaloo. You know that, yeah, Jake gonna try to humiliate him and all. That's not a real fight. That's what my gut tells me. Like, y'all agreed to something behind the scenes. Like, we gonna let it go a little bit. I'm gonna try a little this. You gonna try. I think they came to a mutual agreement. Let's try to make each other look good. That's what I think they did.
Yeah, I think it's very possible that there could be some kind of a backdoor deal, some kind of unwritten rule. The thing that questions my mind is how does a state sanction athletic, sanctioning or not a sanctioning body, but
No, a
a athletic
commission. A
commission,
commission.
excuse me. How does a commission sanction a fight where there's that much weight discrepancy? And you're talking about a guy who fights in 8-ounce gloves versus a guy who's in a division that fights in 10-ounce gloves.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So you're going to be.
Your own question. You answered your own question, Q, because the answer is right there for all of us. A commission don't sanction a fight like that. No, a lightweight versus a cruiserweight. A commission don't. Even Florida, like, nah, it's because it's not a fight. It's not a fight. That's the Atlanta wasn't going to do it. That's what my gut tell. Why y'all moved? Y'all wanted to do it in Atlanta. Why y'all moved? They probably told y'all we ain't doing that. Like, nah, we not doing this dumbass shit. If we gonna do this, then you can't bill it as a fight.
They had to go somewhere where they basically support sports entertainment. That's what
it's the same. It's the same reason they'll approve Rey Mysterio versus the Big Show, because it's not a real fight.
Exactly. It's and every periodical, even Calvin Ford himself referred to it as an exhibition. Every periodical that I've read since it was announced, even though they're saying there's supposed to be an official outcome, they're saying that every article detailing the fight calls it an exhibition. So you make of that what you will. Fuck is everybody so quiet?
I don't know. It's like I'm just trying to figure out why we talking about taking this anyway. Like,
oh no, let's move on. Let's move on from that. That was just because I ain't talked to Q in a minute. Now, gentlemen, the WBA has gone ahead and ordered a fight between Brandon Figueroa and Nick Ball. I'm gonna start with Q. Q, do you like that fight?
Nah, man, I'm a guy that tries to stand on principle in most situations. The only time I'm cool with somebody skipping the line is if we're talking about a fighter who's proven himself at a lower weight that's moving up and, they're the established number one or they're a top tier guy at the weight below. I think you should have to prove it in the ring. I believe that you should have to beat somebody within the division to warrant a direct title shot. And if I'm being honest, this ain't got so much to do, in my opinion, with PBC, but my frustration is with Nick Ball. And not that the order got made, but like, dude has been a champion for what, over a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Because he won the belt from Ray Ford, and that was June of 2024. He's been champ almost a year and a half now, and we still at this point have yet to get a fight against an actual contender in his own weight class.
Yeah, and if he wanted to circumvent this order, he could always hit up one of the champions, most of which are free.
Which we know that he isn't going to do because he hasn't done it to this point.
Exact. Angelo Leo is not doing a motherfucking thing right now. Let me go to Country. Country, just entertainment-wise, do you like this fight?
No, not really. I mean, Beefy, he lost his last fight. Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he?
No, he should have. He should have. Joette Gonzalez won that. If you seen that fight, Joette got robbed. Like, yeah,
that's right. That's right. You know what? I was thinking of the Fulton rematch.
It's robbery.
But I was thinking about the Fulton rematch. But yeah, no, Joette Gonzalez did get robbed, and yeah, I don't know, dude. It just seems like something like Quentin was talking about his frustration with Nick Ball. It kind of fits the pattern, Instead of him taking a real challenge, he's just kind of taking Beef Pig because he's there.
Well, they did order him. You know they did order him. I'm giving him grace because they ordered it, and we know the WBA has a history of doing shit like this. Like, why is Brandon? Remember, he's literally skipping a guy that was already there, that was already in position. For those that don't know, it was an Argentinian called Mirko Coelho. Coelho has been the mandatory, or at least he was supposed to be, for months. Like, wow. And I don't know how Brandon got to. Well, I do know how Brandon got to skip him. Ignacio just entertainment wise, do you like this fight?
Yeah,
Nah, I
it's,
think
it's all
I
right.
think Brandon.
It ain't
I
great.
think Brandon's kind of shot, and I don't really think he's got much left. So to me, this is just another guy that they're putting in front of Nick Ball to kind of add his name to Nick Ball's resume. But in reality, I think Cuello would have been a tougher fight than
Yeah, Cuello
Brandon
would have been.
Figueroa.
Yeah, I think Cuello would have been a tough. He's Argentinian, so you already know. Like them dudes,
Yeah,
you gotta
some
you gotta
tough-
shoot. You gotta shoot them motherfuckers. Herb,
No,
do you like this? Wait, shut your ass up, Jason. Shit. Herb, do you like this fight? Just
Nope.
it's a lot of shit, but do you like the fight?
Nope, I don't like it. Stylistically, Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa. No, nasty style mixed match up. I don't
Hell,
like it.
nobody liked this fight, dog. Nobody.
Because Brandon hasn't done shit to prove that he deserves the fight. Jules, like he's mediocre right now, straight up.
Mediocre.
Let me go to wait. Let me go to Jason. Jason, do you like this fight?
No, because this is a fight you think you like because it's two guys throw punches, but it's gonna be sloppy shit, a lot of headbutting. But this is, part of the course for Nick Ball, fighting a dude who moved up in weight.
I'll say this.
Never fighting a real featherweight.
I dissent from the rest of the panel. I actually like the fight stylistically because I know that neither guy's going to run from the other guy. Granted that the potential for it to be sloppy and messy is there. One thing that stands out is, remember, Nick Ball ain't coming to America, gentlemen. Yeah, it's not fucking happening, though.
Right.
You better get your passport out, Brandon, because you going to Liverpool, bro. That's where you going. And I don't mind. Like his eyes are already so far apart, bro. He's gonna look like a fucking meerkat by the end of that fight.
There is a higher chance of Nick Ball hitting a judo toss than there is of a clean punch landing in this fight. Come on now.
I mean, like, hey, man, Nick, but because the shit is, he don't got to chase the guy. It's not like Brandon going to shake and bake and get on the fucking good foot. Like, nah, he going to come forward. He going to give all that height up.
What was that one cartoon, Something-orama, where the alien had the, like, cross eyes? That's what looks like B-Figure.
Futurama.
Yeah, the alien there with the scientist or whatever, the one with the eyes far apart. That's what B-Fig's is looking like, man.
Yeah, the more fights he loses, the further his eyes go apart, bro. The more like this shit's gonna end up in the back of his head by the time that shit is over, dog.
Like he parts squid.
So I don't know. Like, I'm not really mad that they ordered that shit. And I understand that the panel is very impatient with Nick Ball because it's like, yeah, you had like a year and a half. Ronnie Rios, TJ Doheny. Who was the other one? It was Ronnie Rios, Sam Goodman. And like I was okay with him fighting Ronnie and TJ, but now it's like, homie, what are you doing? What are we doing? And they was
for the in-away sweepstakes.
And listen, man. Inoue ain't moving up like he not about to move up right now. You understand? Like, he about to fight Picasso. And then after he fight Picasso, he gonna fight Gento. So if the earliest Inoue moves up, if he moves up, the earliest, what, September of next year, right? Because he probably gonna fight Gento in May. So if that,
Jules, you tell me, what would be a better legacy and money fight for Inoue? Going up to featherweight or waiting for Bam Rodriguez?
He's right. Bam is the fight. That's another one that you could say. Really, the fight I really wanted was Bam and Gento, but everybody want that Inoue sweepstakes, so it just is what it is. But do you really think he would jump up 2 weight classes like that? You think he would do that for Inoue? This is not Quadras, Jason.
It's not, but I think Bam would. I think Bam would do it. I think Inoue is worth a risk that Junto is not.
Q, what's your thoughts on Zuffa boxing and all the bleeding hearts about the Muhammad Ali act? Because that's been going on for weeks now. Motherfuckers all of a sudden want to worry about the Ali act because Zuffa coming in here. What is your opinion on Zuffa based on what you've heard so far?
I mean, I think it's going to end up being like that Contender Series. I think it's going to be a perfect platform for guys that don't have a lot of options, guys that might be, club shows, guys that might be fighting on smaller, small hall, cards and stuff like that, which is good for them, because they still got bills to pay as well. I don't think it's really going to affect the grand scheme of boxing at the top level, at least not for the first couple of years, because the pay scale is not going to be high enough. That's the biggest thing. If the pay scale isn't high enough, you're not going to get world level guys to give up these titles that are their only negotiating, tools to just fight on a network against guys nobody's heard of. I just don't see that happening.
Mm. Do you have you seen all the people complaining about the revisions to the Ali Act? What do you make of that? Like because it just seems very disingenuous to me to all of a sudden start caring about that shit. Like, bro, motherfuckers been violating that shit right in front of you this
Yeah,
whole time.
I think honestly, it's a situation where no matter what legislation is put in place, there's going to be people that find ways around it. There's going to be people that will use smoke and mirrors and find gray areas, find loopholes to do what they want to do. If a boxer knowingly signs a contract with a network that is against it and it's something that you don't agree with, then you shouldn't sign the contract with them. If you don't mind and you find with the pay that they're offering you, then that's for that's for the fighter to worry about, in my opinion. I don't really see the benefit in worrying about it if the fighters ain't gonna worry about it. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of Steve Clagettes, you got a lot of Mean Machines, you got some, decent fighters. I want to say decent in the sense that they could put on a show. They're not Shakur, obviously. They're not fucking Usyk. They're not fucking, no, they don't fight at that level. But that don't mean they can't be entertaining. So I'm for that shit. Like, yo, that's 12 shows a year, dog. That's 12 extra shows that get to make me money. So I'm all for that bullshit. Let's go, Dana. Now, gentlemen, there's a rumor out there, and I'm going to start with country, that Manny Pacquiao is going back to Top Rank. And Manny Pacquiao is thinking about fighting Vasyl Lomachenko. Country, do you like that? Do you like that fight?
Well, it's better than Rolly, but I mean, I don't know what that's. I don't know how much that's really saying, but it's better than Rolly.
Set pretty fucking low, dog. When Rolly is the barometer, it's pretty fucking low. Herb, what you think about that? Manny going back to Top Rank to maybe fight Loma. Just what thoughts get evoked immediately?
Yeah, like you said, it's better than Rolly for one thing, and it makes a better fight. I can do it, but I ain't too thrilled about it. I can do it though. I can do that over Rolly, that's for sure. Stylistically, I like Lomachenko. I like Loma beating him up. That's what I like.
Is it really going to draw any money though?
147 though. I don't understand. 147. They're going to do this.
I would think that they would do that at a catchweight. If it's me, I'm thinking it got 140. Got to be the catchweight or something. Yeah. It got to be like Loma is. Y'all see that dude's shoulders, bro? That dude is shaped like an orphan. You know what I'm saying? His shoulders mad little. Like he can't go to 47, bro. He can't. But maybe Manny, if he eats a couple of cats and like a couple of milkshakes, he could get down to like 142 or something. Shout out to motherfucking George. Eno is in the tail end of his prime. So junto. Jason, what do you think? Lomachenko, Pacquiao, Top Rank. What do you think?
Love it. I love old man fights. There's fights we see in boxing, just two guys like have nothing left. So fuck it, let's go down swinging. I think that's potentially be wildly entertaining, and at the very least, it ain't Rolly Romero.
Yeah, it's not Rolly. It's not Rolly. Leo, what do you think about?
I gotta hop off, y'all. Y'all have a good night, though, bro.
I'll let you, Q.
Right,
Leo, what do you think about this rumor that's out now that Manny Pacquiao may be going back to Top Rank early next year? Apparently, and we all know why, so I don't have to say it. That they kind of fucked up the Romero fight for him. Romero got to fight Guysaw. What do you think about Pacquiao Loma, just as a boxing fan?
That's what I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point.
Leo
It
makes
makes
the
a
best
lot of
one.
sense. Well, yeah, he does. Like it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. You know?
Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
No,
we
I
hear you.
can't hear. No, I can't hear you.
Nope.
I'm
Can't
sorry.
hear you. Speak up, Leo.
No, Loma versus Pacquiao. Okay, whatever. Where is gonna be on top rank? Under what platform?
That's the same fucking question we all got, dog.
So you're gonna have a look. Two guys. Lomachenko's retired. Manny Pacquiao is making a comeback, quote unquote. It's an inconsequential fight. I will not. I will not bother about that fight if Top Rank wasn't in such a precarious situation because you don't have a network right now, and I guess you're gonna have a limited amount of dates from now on. So you're gonna spend one of those days on Lomachenko versus Pacquiao. It's, I don't know, dude. Do you know I'm a big fan of Lomachenko? I'm not interested in watching him fight Pacquiao of all people.
Ignacio,
I
you
don't care.
interested? Does that fight get your dick hard?
Nah, it's like a half tub, to be honest. Like, there's not really, there's no real intrigue in this fight. You got a guy who is pretty much at the tail end of his career in Manny, who's just fighting because he's broke and he's got nothing else to do. And you got Loma, who legitimately quit because he told us his heart wasn't in the sport anymore. So is he really going to come back motivated to fight an old fucking Manny Pacquiao? And all of a sudden now he's going to turn back the hands of time and prove that he's the old Loma that we used to watch? Like, nah. I think at this point Manny is just desperate to make money, and like you said, Jules, he he's probably pissed off that the PBC fucked off the Romero fight for him because he really wanted that fight. He wanted
Yeah.
to be able to beat the shit out of Rolly and prove that he was a legitimate champion again. And now that he doesn't have that option. Now he's just grasping at straws to see if the public will believe whoever he fights next.
Isn't
Yeah,
Loma
but
a bit small for Manny anyway?
no, I mean like no,
No.
because the thing is that you know, like in terms of the tape, just the tail of the tape, nah. But in terms of build, yeah, he is noticeably smaller. In terms of build, like Loma's a wiry guy, man. But the main thing is, as much as that fight is being talked about, it's becoming a conversation. I can't see Loma doing no dumb shit like that. Like, yeah, let me just fight a 47-year-old for no fucking belt, for no reason. You know,
Yeah.
let me just go do this. I don't
Yeah,
think
Yeah,
he's
I can't
strapped,
see
and
that
I
fight.
don't, and I don't think he's strapped for cash neither. Like Loma's not the guy that runs out and buys a fucking Ferrari. You know,
I do believe he's strapped for cash.
why
You
would
have
you
to
think
remember.
that?
You have to remember that Lomachenko is an Ukrainian, and Ukraine is still at war. So I don't know how much of those, whatever money he made, if 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 we send that money to Ukraine, I don't know how much money he has now.
Man, y'all need to get some dick pills for this fight because I think this fight could rule.
I mean, I just if Lomachenko didn't have one of the main indictments against the fight is Javante Davis tried it. You know, he tried it. He tried to catch him slipping, is what I'm saying. And if Loma don't get out of bed for that fight anymore, I don't even want to watch him fight. Like you don't care anymore. So why the fuck would I want to watch somebody fight that don't care anymore? You know?
What's up, guys? What are we talking about?
You didn't care about George Gambosis and beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, but that's George Cambodia. Like everybody, Maxie Hughes beat the fuck out of him. Like, bro, that shit ain't saying a lot, dog. Like, bro, it's George Cambodia. What we talking
It
about?
seems like
Fucking
everybody's been treating old George like a pinata lately.
fucking Richardson Hitchens stopped him. Pillow
What
hands
does that?
Richards.
What does that tell you, dog? What does that tell you? Undefeated. The starting topic of the night was the WBA ordered Brandon Figueroa versus Nick Bull. The question: do you like that fight?
I mean, I don't really care for it if I'm being honest. Yeah,
You don't like?
only because of Figueroa. Like, yeah, I like ball, but I mean, WBA order that shit.
Yeah, they ordered that shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I
I'm
know that
not.
shit is nuts.
But you're not excited of Nick Ball versus some dude moving up to featherweight, part 4?
No, because
No.
he's already at. He's already. He was already at featherweight. It's not like he's moving
Uh-huh.
up for this fight. He was already there. He's already there.
It's a
So no
good.
one.
It's a
It's
good
not a.
undercard fight.
I don't think it's a bad like B Fig is trash, and that's why I think it's not a bad fight. Like, bro, you gonna get hit with everything, dog. Like with he could throw a punch in the parking lot and hit your ass. Like Brandon ain't got
Yeah.
no fucking defense.
I will say this though: if Nick Ball struggles with Figueroa in any way or makes it look difficult, like he did with the Sam Goodman fight,
Stop.
oh boy, I'm
Well,
gonna have some
Sam was boxing is the main thing. Sam was boxing. Sam was moving and boxing and using his jab. B Fig ain't gonna do none of that. He's not gonna do none of that. He's gonna be right there for everything.
But Brandon will make you look bad. He looks so a fucking slew foot, long arms. He throwing hook like uppercuts from the waist. He just looks crazy. He will make you look crazy too with that.
He might though, yeah, because he got a shitty like that's one of the shittiest pressure fighters I ever saw, dog. Like and I love pressure fighters, but my
Who's
God,
shittier,
that
Jules,
dude is
him or
ass.
Isaac Cruz?
Him. He's
country
he's
mile.
bad, bro. Like
Yo, whatever
pretty
happened to his
fucking bad.
brother, Omar?
He
He
got fat.
retired, bro.
No,
That
he started
motherfucker
doing.
had a drinking problem.
Didn't he start doing stand-up comedy? Is that my imagination?
Are you serious?
What the hell? Nah, I didn't hear about that
Wait,
shit.
let me
the last
look this up.
his
Let me
last couple
look this
fights
up.
were stand-up comedy.
Last time,
He's like, I gotta look
last thing I heard about him was like 3-4 years ago. He had a DWI. He got pulled
Bro,
over.
he
and
had
shit.
multiple DWIs.
He
Yeah, they
Like
needs to
got
that's
tell
why
what happened.
Robert Garcia stopped training him, bro, because that motherfucker wouldn't leave the bottle alone.
That motherfucker more Mexican than Virgil. God damn.
it's fu-
Yeah, no shit, huh?
The manager of my local my manager at the local Chipotle is more Mexican than Virgil. Come on now.
yeah. His sister,
You
I
know
remember
what?
Oh,
his
I had.
sister
yeah.
bad.
You
His
know what?
sister's
I fucked
bad.
up. Omar Figueroa did do a stand-up comedy. The thing is, that Omar is Puerto Rican.
Julius,
Say some shit. It's a completely different guy. Go ahead, Leo.
can I, this is just a theory based on Lomachenko versus Pacquiao because some of these fights don't make sense really if you think about it. But I don't think by now is about the managers and the promoters. I think by now is about the TV networks because you know better than anyone here what happened with Espinosa and the PBC. You're supposed to be the guy that oversees the spending and the fights that they will want to make. Now, I think what's happening with these promotional companies and these TV networks is some of these TV networks are willing to send some money to spend money on boxing, but they want more involvement in what fights they're gonna make. So they see, for example, Top Rank. See, okay, for example, I don't know, Peacock. Peacock says, look, we can make fights with you, we can make shows, but you're not gonna be really in charge. We need these guys. These guys have metrics. Lomachenko has metrics, and Pacquiao. Okay, those two guys. They don't fucking care about Pacquiao is retired or is coming back. They don't care about Lomachenko is a small guy. No, they see two guys with metrics and make them fight. Is the kind of guys that are gonna suggest Shakur Stevenson versus David Benavides because they don't know. This is what's gonna happen.
I agree with that because that's the way that it was. I agree with that. The networks were more involved. The networks had more oversight over what went on and what fights got made. But more importantly, the difference between then and now is you didn't have to beg. It was implied. You want to make money? Well, you have to make fights that make money. And what changed the game was the exclusivity deals. If you're a promoter and they're telling you, yo, we're going to give you 80, 90 million a month, right? You're going to be laxed. I mean, a month, a year, you're going to be laxed because that's the budget. You got the budget, regardless of what you made, you got the budget. There's not that same sense of urgency that, no, we got to put together a card or a fight that we can actually sell that will bring metrics to the broadcaster so we get another, fight date and so we can make some fucking money. But when they tell you, well, you're going to get 80, 90 mil every year regardless, you're not going to operate with the same urgency. Like, nah, we going to get that regardless. So we could be lax. We could make some shitty fights. You feel me? And it needs to go back to that. I think it needs to go back to the network having more oversight over what ends up on the platform. It needs to go back to that because if you let the people in boxing be the ones that are in charge, they're always going to try to fuck you over. They try to fuck each other over. They'll try to fuck the fans over. They'll try to fuck you over if you let them.
Wasn't that the Bella's job at HBO?
Mm-hmm.
He did a good job. He
Yeah, he
did a good
did.
job.
But those were different times, and people respected themselves more. Is the other thing that people don't really respect themselves anymore, which is a separate conversation. But networks had more oversight over, like who was the guy, Les Moonves. The reason Pacquiao and Mayweather got made is because he said, "I'm not going to let Floyd fight anybody else unless it's Manny Pacquiao." I believe it was Les Moonves that decreed it's that fight or nothing. And that's part of how that finally got made. And you need that. You got guys like Stefan Espinoza, Bill Wenger on Fox, and they're just letting the boxing guys do whatever because they don't understand boxing. Essentially, well, Stefan thought he did, but he didn't. And Bill knew even less. So you let the boxing guys do their boxing shit, and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna take advantage of you. The same way that Gervonta Davis is taking advantage of his fans, the boxing guys are gonna take advantage of the broadcaster if you let them. Like, yeah, they're just gonna fuck off money on bullshit.
What Espinoza was worse because he was a super fan. Like, he was on Floyd's dick.
And a lot of these promoters all of them are snakes. Can you imagine like Oscar pitching like, "Yo, I have a top prospect in Schofield versus an Olympian Jojo Diaz." Like, whenever we know that fight's already like decided. Like, no,
Maning, eso la vaina que when you look at a Golden Boy Promotions card, right, the average one, well, that's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. You're taking the money that the zone gives you annually, and you're making Schofield versus Diaz. What? Why? What the fuck is that gonna do? Ortiz versus Lubin. They give you a budget to do shows annually, and look at the fights you're making. You're fucking off their money. You're not drawing eyes to the platform. This feels highly inconsequential to the sport, and ultimately, it won't move the needle. But you're playing with house money. So, because when they're giving you a budget, a good-sized budget, you don't feel the pressure to make money. You don't feel the pressure. Like, nah, I'm gonna get this regardless. So I could make some bullshit now. But if your next fight relied on the success of this fight, you might act right. Like, yeah, we might not get another fight date if we putting on some bullshit.
Look what it took to get Zepeda to fight fucking Shakur Stevenson. How many teeth had to get pulled, and how many other people's money did Oscar have to spend?
They had to give that dude a small fucking fortune, bro. He's got more money than Haiti's economy to fucking fight Shakur.
I mean, I have more money than Haiti's economy, so that ain't saying much.
Wait, how much? What's the ballpark figure to make that fight?
If I had to guess what William got for that fight, I would put it in the neighborhood of between 3 and 4, which is insane for him. If I had to guess, no. I think Shakur got in the neighborhood of 7. Jeez. If I had to guess, he got in the neighborhood of between 5 and 7, and William would have got less.
Let's just say
William doesn't make nothing, so it's like, yeah, that's a lot for him.
Let's just say it took $8 million for that fight, bro. Are you fucking kidding?
That's worth half that shit.
but that's where it's
No,
at. But
no,
that's where it's at.
man.
That's where it's at. It's there, and I don't want to rehatch the same conversation, but it's inflation. To make a long story short, there's been market inflation, out of control market inflation, the last decade of boxing. You got guys getting a mill, they not worth that. I've been saying Danny Garcia is a $500,000 fighter, if that. You shouldn't pay that dude more than a $500,000 to fight because he don't draw nothing. He was never really that big a draw.
Nope.
And that's
Never.
still more than, and I'll say it again, that's still more than a lot of doctors make. So what are you complaining about?
Trent, the moment that he loses, see, off of the Khan fight, okay. Off of the Khan fight. Off of the Matisse fight, okay. But once you lost to Thurman, nobody should have been giving you no 1 million, 1.5 for Samuel Vargas, for Bam Bam Rios, for Ivan Redcatch. You giving this guy over $1 million at a time for these
For Rod,
people?
for Rod fucking Salka.
And when you do that, and people, like a lot of people, I know they wonder, why do you always have to make it about Heyman? Because that's where it started with the Waddle and Reed money. That's where it started. How did he get 150 plus fighters to leave Golden Boy to go to his PBC? How? He promised them ridiculous purses. That's part of where the money went. So now you got a whole army of guys, they won't fucking do nothing for under $1 million or under $2 million when y'all don't generate that. The market inflation in America, that's where it started. That's right there. So when the zone gets here in 2018, when they get here, they're seeing, well, look, they paying this guy this, they paying this guy that, and we got to pay them what the market is saying. Well, they thinking that the market is saying, yeah, yo, we got to give Mikey Garcia $7 million. Apparently, we got to give Demetrius Andre 6 to 7 figures. This motherfucker couldn't sell out a phone booth. But we got to give him 6 to 7 figures for these
He
guys.
couldn't even sell out his own fucking hometown on ESPN Friday Night Fights. I remember back in the day. So he never had a fan base.
You don't remember one of the last fights I think he had on Matchroom was in Rhode Island. And like, yo, what you supposed to do with a guy like this? What are you supposed to do? And that's why I'm not the dude that want to be their friend. I can't, dog. Real is real. A lot of y'all always gonna ask for extra. A lot of y'all always gonna ask for money that don't exist. Y'all act like it's a victimless crime. No, every time one of y'all gets something like that, although y'all that been getting that, it takes away from the market. A guy like Danny is not supposed to be making $1 million per fight, but he was making over that. Guy like Demetrius, same shit. Devin is one of the most brazen examples. This guy's getting 2 and 3. You're not entertaining, and you don't draw like that. But yo, that's what he was getting. He's getting it on Matchroom. He's getting it on Top Rank, and it hurts the business. It hurts the market to the point where me and you are being charged pay-per-view for a fucking Prograis fight. Like, bro, Prograis, Ebony Bridges on the undercard. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Are y'all crazy? But they did that. Looking back, it seems even more ridiculous. Yo, you had Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis for $60. And Ebony Bridges was on the undercut with Mio Yoshida.
Yes.
Y'all motherfuckers is nuts, bro. Y'all crazy. That's how it happens.
The promoters need more balls, bro. And they obviously they are greedy. Sure, they're greedy, but they need to be like, okay, you want to be on pay per view? Like Eddie told Devin, okay, you put up your money, I'll put up my money, and we'll go equal on the loss because you're not a pay per view fighter,
Because you're not a pay-per-view fighter or a fucking promoter.
and you
That,
dress gay.
and that's why you got it's really the Americans though. You don't see AJ has a management company. It's legit. Who is that? Go argue with your mom by yourself, bro. What you doing?
Gay.
Right? AJ has a management company. Dillian White did manage fighters, whereas a lot of guys in America, they want to put on the promoter hat like Errol, you a promoter? You a promoter? What's your state? When is the next Errol Spence show? When is the next
It's
man
man
down?
down.
Right man down card. When is that? DHP. When is the DHP card coming out?
You know what we need, and I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. We need more Frank Warrens, because he's someone who will stick to a fighter and promote a fighter. Because even if he has better ones in our management, like look at Danny Dubois. Does anyone think Dubois is better than fucking? Oh my god, brain fart. Worst time. Joseph Parker.
No.
But who's he going to promote? Dubois. Why? He makes money. People love that retard.
Motherfuckers' feelings get hurt when they see that, like, yo, you don't got fans, homeboy. I know that shit hurt, but that's reality. The money you want requires more fans than you have. So what we supposed to do? Motherfuckers need to start saying, like, yo, homie, if that's the case, don't fight. I got a couple Guatemalans that'll fight anything, bro. They'll fight me, right? For the right price. So if you don't want to fight, that's cool, dog. It's an Eastern European with a bad haircut that will fight all the fights that you won't fight. In other news, who the fuck knew Bakram Murtazaliev is fluent in Spanish? And I'm not talking about like he studied it. That motherfucker speaks Spanish.
How the fuck is he not a star then? Go to Mexico and just beat the shit out of people.
Do you understand that his Spanish is like, yo, Virgil, you should be ashamed of yourself. Ryan, you should be fucking ashamed. He speaks it that good, Herb. You want to hear this motherfucker?
That shit's crazy.
Let me hear that.
Yo.
Where did you find this at?
It's on Twitter, bro.
I'm the one that put it on Twitter. I called my CIA buddy because I wanted to find out what Bakram was up to. And he sent me this video. Now hold on. I got you right now. Hold on.
Let
me see. Because
this is saying that shit's AI.
People, every video that comes out these days, everybody.
Chechenia. Cuando nos ven, te comparan con Artur. Extra work, and it's just an honor to train along him, and it's just a big inspiration. Por supuesto, ¿no? Cuando te comparan con Artur, Artur es mi hermano mayor, mi compañero mayor, somos de la misma región de Chechenia. Cuando nos vemos, nos llevamos bien y ambos tenemos barba. Tal vez para ellos, tal vez por eso piensan así, pero me parece que nuestros estilos son muy diferentes. Principalmente él mismo avanza y presiona. Bueno, sí hay tales comparaciones, me son muy agradables. Así que no hay ningún problema.
I hear no accent.
For real?
No, there's an accent. There's an accent.
He sounds like he learned in Spain.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're Spanish.
You could hear the lisp when he was speaking that. He learned in Spain.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, Virgil Ortiz, Bam Rodriguez, all y'all should be ashamed of y'all.
Amanda Serrano.
Listen.
Hard to.
Why you always gotta bother her, bro? Why you gotta bother her?
I'll leave her alone if she lets me tears talk Spanish, bro.
Right? Leave her alone, bro. Talking shit about Amanda. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Sanicia don't speak Spanish, bro.
Otra. Was MVP. It's gonna be Amanda and Cruz, right?
Yeah.
Good fight.
That'll probably. I'm like I like the fight just because I know. Well, they ain't gonna dance. They ain't not gonna dance. They just gonna fight. They just gonna fight, and I like personally. I like it. Dina's probably gonna fight on that show. Not for nothing. Dina says she coming back in January. That show is in January. Ellie's fight is probably gonna land on that shit. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to motherfucking Virtuoso. Didn't we have this convo years ago when American fighters clam up? Their jobs will be outsourced to foreign fighters who will. Yeah, we had this. They need to be reminded of that there's Mexican fighters that are not prima donnas. There are Eastern European fighters that are not prima donnas. That Brits generally are not afraid to travel. They're not like they'll come here before you'll go there. They'll come here before you'll go there for an opportunity. I mean, think about it. You got fucking Maxie Hughes to fight in fucking Kansas against an Australian, bruh. Well, you can't get an American to cross the fucking street. So yeah, like if y'all what motherfuckers need to start doing. Listen, Brody, if you don't want to fight, you don't have to. Don't do nothing, bro. Go be free. You free. Go be fucking free, bro. You know.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that fucking fight. An Aussie and a Brit or a Welshman or whatever Maxie is fighting in fucking Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, right? I said Kansas, Oklahoma. Like, whose fucking bright idea was that?
There's a huge Welsh population in Oklahoma.
Oh, clearly. No, there's Australians all over the place in Oklahoma, bro. It's like fucking Sydney over there, bro. Fuck. And then, but that's the kind of matchmaking, not for nothing. I guess that's where you can levy some blame at Top Rank. The problem is exclusivity deals promote complacency, because if the promoter knows that they're guaranteed a certain number of fight dates and they're guaranteed a certain budget, right? They're not going to make fights with the same urgency to produce results as they would if they didn't have a deal. You're just like, you got pussy at home. Well, yeah, you got it. But if you don't have it, you got to leave an impression. Are you going to do a good job? You can spit on it. You can put your thumb in there. You're going to do all type of shit. You might wear a cock ring. Do all type of shit.
Did you see? Go ahead,
bro.
You guys want to make out of something? What the fuck is this?
Now they're going to be respectful.
I'm sorry. This is like, that shit sound like it sounds like a Meg Ryan movie. I'm sorry. You want to go? Please.
Also, your dick. Oh, okay. I'll go.
Yo.
You know what?
What the
You know what it reminds me?
Yo.
You know what it reminds me? K-pop drama. I watched one chapter that my cousins were watching about the K-pop drama. Half of that chapter was motherfuckers apologizing one another.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, fuck you then, Leo.
I'm sorry. Please help me.
Fucking Argentinian.
But no, I said this before, I think, but the most successful fighter in that whole like guaranteed money, guaranteed schedule, whatever, was Caleb Plant, because he was the one who was fighting regularly, wasn't getting overpaid, and was able to turn it into an actual huge mega fight.
Agreed that the investment made in Caleb Plant, well, we can't say categorically that it worked out for Showtime if they ended up leaving. You know what I mean? But everything did happen the way that it should, that this was not a guy you have to break the piggy bank to pay him. And he eventually did fight in a super fight that yielded a return. Was the return enough to save you? Not really. But yeah, you know.
No, but you cannot put that shit on Caleb Plant.
No, I'm not. It's just you made so many fucking errors, it overshadows the decent job that you did with Caleb. With Caleb, the investment you made, you actually got it back. But with a lot of these other motherfuckers, you're paying Charlo $1 million to fight Centennial. You're paying all these guys. You got to understand that a lot of guys on Top Rank don't make $1 million. You understand? A lot of guys on Top Rank do not get paid $1 million per fight. But the minimum for a PBC guy was like $1 million. You got Danny making $1 million, Jermal making $1 million, fucking Thurman making $1 million. So like, and y'all not worth that. Like, no, a lot of y'all some $500,000 fighters. A lot of y'all.
Yeah, but at some
point,
point,
Caleb Plant's biggest purse before the fucking Canelo fight was against Caleb Truax, $700,000. Still a lot, but it ain't $1 million.
That was probably worth $350 the most.
And that was as a champion. That was as a champion with 3 defenses already. You got to get paid what you and motherfuckers not going to like the sound of that, but it's like, well, the business is not sustainable if you don't do that. We are where we are right now because y'all been getting too much. Literally. Well, the networks are looking at what they gave you, then they look at the numbers. Well, what the fuck is this? Why should we keep giving you anything if this is all we gonna get back? And here we are. Here we are.
It has to be a middle point. I understand that. Let's take, for example, Alfheim. You can get it when people say, "Oh, I thank you, Alfheim, thank you," because they're overpaying you. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna make $1 million from at the jump with any other promotional company besides with Alfheim. Yeah, that's good for you. Now, if you are talking about a top rank fighter, if you pay him what he makes, only what he makes, yeah, he's not gonna make much. And there comes another promotional company that's willing to pay a little bit more, and it's gonna poach him. So top rank, it cannot be for this shit to work. It has to be a complete monopoly, and you treat your fighters like shit, like you do in the UFC. Or
But you see why the UFC is a sustainable business that networks were competing. You know, and you answered it better than I could think of. That I wondered how could the UFC failed because they really failed on ESPN. It's just that people don't report it that way. ESPN was not happy with the metrics that they were producing. But why is it that so many people were competing to buy it? It's because for the failure, it's still more sustainable than boxing. You don't have to spend anywhere near as you really don't. Like, well, you ain't paying fighters through the nose. We know that. You ain't wasting 2, 3, 4, 5 million on some fucking Estonian, some fucking dude from Kyrgyzstan.
okay, what I'm going to say about the UFC is nothing about that shit is gay, that shit is not real. No, it's about boxing is a war sport. The UFC is a promotional company. I don't think you can compare boxing to the UFC. Just a promotional company, and it cornered the market. People think it's a synonymous from UFC to MMA, and that's work of Dana White. That's his work. But yeah, that doesn't mean that's true. MMA is bigger than that. Obviously, people gravitate to UFC because it's where the brand is more recognizable. It's a better brand. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a better promotional company by the quality of the fighters or the quality of the competition because there is no world competition.
No.
really.
I would say among the thing is that MMA is actually a lot smaller than people realize. There is a hierarchy in MMA. For example, if you had a bunch of PFL guys fight a bunch of UFC guys, the UFC guys are gonna fuck them up, right? And it was the same with Bellator. If you got a bunch of Bellator guys go up against a bunch of UFC guys, the UFC guys are gonna fuck them up. There is a hierarchy of a tier, but it is smaller than people realize. It is what you
Yeah,
said that that's a
and Julius,
promotion. It's a promotion. It's not.
Julius,
And to back
wait,
up Leo's
wait a minute.
point real quick, there's a French fighter that the UFC's been trying to nab for a while because he's really popular in Europe, and he says no because like, bro, I make $500,000 a fight. You ain't paying me that. So it's just
Okay, what about what you were saying? UFC fighters are overall better than the Bellator and PFL. Okay, that that might be true, but what might also be true is top rank fighters are better than PBC fighters. But guess what? I'm still want to see the fucking fights, and I'm not going to see any in the UFC because they don't do cross promotion. So it's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not a
No,
global sport.
I know that
It's a
you're.
good
I know
brand.
that what you're getting at is that it's apples to oranges. That conversation about cross promotions and mixed martial arts is very different than boxing because you already hit the nail on the head. Boxing is a world sport. The fans don't give a fuck if you're with milkshake promotions and hamburger promotions. If you got a fighter and they got a fighter and yeah, we want to see them fight because it's that big that happens often. MMA is actually a lot smaller. There's nobody at Bellator. Is Bellator even still? Does that even exist
I
anymore?
don't know.
nope.
I don't be seeing
And
it.
you see what I mean? That there's not a fight that I can think of in MMA that would involve a cross promotion, whereas in boxing, that's the norm. It's that big that's the norm. Most of the big fights are, or for a time, were cross promotion. Bivol versus Better Beef, that's a cross promotion. Usyk versus AJ, sort of. You know, it was K2 really, but
Spence
most
Crawford.
of the Spence Crawford, that was a cross promotion. Lomachenko versus Garcia, Lomachenko versus Davis, cross promotion. That is the standard because that's how big, like boxing is actually really fucking big. As much as it's fragmented, it is also really fucking big. There's boxing in Russia, there's boxing in Australia, there's boxing in Japan, there's boxing in Thailand, boxing in Mexico, boxing in Argentina. On a lower scale, there's boxing in Brazil. It's really big, you know.
Yeah, the other thing that people has to, I don't know if people really cares, but this TV network, these promotional companies, they have to understand that they have to operate in another way because the old model is not going to work. Let's go back to the 90s. How do you
Yeah,
make money as a TV network? How do you make money
the
as a
way that you
as a
made
pub-
the way that
as
you
a,
made money in the 90s, you didn't have exclusivity deals, and you basically paid for the show. You paid
no,
for the show,
no,
and
Julius,
the
wait,
Go
wait, no, no, I'm talking about boxing. How do you make money as a TV network? Period.
okay,
How do you get?
the way you make money as a TV network is basically you put on content that advertisers want to advertise their products on. So if Leo has the masturbation hour starring Leo, right? And 4 or 5 million people tune in to watch Leo masturbate. That block is valuable, and a lot of ad. There's going to be a lot of companies that want to advertise during your show, and that is how the network makes money. They draw an audience. Basically, they produce content, TV shows, dramas, what have you, that people watch, and then knowing that, okay, we got Law and Order, millions of people watch Law and Order, the ad time is valuable. Lots of companies going to want to advertise a lot of shit. Pharmaceutical companies, pots and pans, soda, what have you, and that is how they make their money, off of
Yeah,
advertising.
yeah. People back in the day in the 90s, they understand that if you have a very popular show and you can get advertisers, you're gonna make bank, like millions upon millions of dollars because it was that easy. People didn't have nothing to watch besides
Did
that.
did
So you were gonna to see the commercials. There wasn't any other option if the show was good. Now, yeah, people still wants to go to TV networks and they're trying to inject commercials, but people are not watching that shit. They're changing the channel. They go to another platform. They go to their computers to. They go to Netflix. They personalize the experience. They pay the front. That shit that wasn't happening in the 90s.
Yeah,
To
pero yo
not
te lo
see
voy a
the
decir,
fucking
Leo. Yo te
commercial.
lo voy a decir, Leo, que recuerda. Hulu didn't used to have commercials when Hulu was around because I think they just got phased out. I believe that Hulu just got phased out. But I remember when Hulu first came out, they didn't have commercials. When Netflix first transitioned to streaming, because remember, they weren't always what they are now. They used to send you movies. They didn't have commercials. Advertiser revenue is so pivot Advertiser revenue is so pivotal to this model that I don't think it will ever go away. That if it comes down to them forcing you to watch a commercial, you know that YouTube forces you. Sometimes they have that ad where there's two fucking ads in it and you can't click off until a couple of seconds pass. It's that pivotal to the model that they got to give you the commercials because that's how they make their money. That you're going to see commercials. It's not going nowhere. And if you want it to go somewhere, you know what they'll do? They'll fucking charge you. Okay, you don't want commercials? You don't want to see commercials? That's $10 extra on top of your bill. Eat that, motherfucker. Right? It's not going nowhere, bro. I'll be back after these commercial messages.
I heard him say that there was no exclusivity deals in the 90s. That necessarily wasn't true. There was guys on HBO that had exclusivity deals with their side of the street, like Roy Jones and
Tyson?
Oscar De La Hoya and Tyson, until Tyson went to Showtime. So that shit existed in the 90s too. The difference was that the two biggest promoters in the game at that time, even though they fucking hated each other, they still managed to make fights amongst themselves with fighters when they knew that they could make money off of it. All these other guys that have been around in the last 15 or 20 years, they don't know how to promote like those guys did. And they don't have the stable of fighters that those guys did. So you're not going to ever see that again because these fucking dudes don't know how to develop and grow stars anymore. It's pathetic.
Yeah,
It it's fucking sad. It
especially especially
what
Oscar.
Yep.
what pisses me off is that we don't have shit on the weekends But when we have a good card, here comes the other promoter with another card the same night. It's like, man, fuck y'all.
I
Yeah,
fucking
that
hate that,
sucks.
bro.
Honestly, they should legitimately be putting fights on Fridays or Sundays. Like, I don't understand why everything has to be on a Saturday.
No, and
Yes.
that part's worse too because it's just petty shit. Because they'll
Well,
have like an interesting. Let's just say they have an interesting top rank card. Let's say I forget what actually happened then, but let's just say this happened. Loma versus Tiafimo, and then fucking Oscar will come on with uh, Zapata versus some bum we never heard of, but on the same time. Not even on just the same night, at the same exact time. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah, and either we gotta
They're
flip,
competing.
and either we gotta fucking flip the channels or have one fight on the phone, and the one you like the most, you gotta have it on your TV. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I think for the 5 versus 5 last year or 2 years ago, I think there was like a Golden Boy card at night. See, I don't mind that. If you have the cards and the card overseas during the daytime and then the American card at night, that's fine. But don't come on the same time with different promotional companies. Like, we gotta, y'all make us choose. Like, that's some bullshit.
Right.
And to
Okay,
talk to
okay, okay.
Leo's
Wait,
point,
wait,
hang on. To
wait.
talk to Leo's point real quick when he said he quipped they're competing. Like, fuck this! You're not competing. You're being a bitch.
You are.
You know damn well what you're putting on is not anywhere near as interesting or engaging as the other card. But you're hoping against hope. But you're running it anyway just to be a fucking dick, just
Yeah,
to rob 5 eyeballs.
you're measuring dicks against your opponent. You're against another promoter, and it's like we don't give a fuck. Like, one of y'all go Friday, the other one goes Saturday. We'll watch both. Like, it's just
Or
stupid.
they can go the same day, but just put them far enough apart so you can catch both of them, man.
Yeah.
No, that'd be too logical, country.
Right.
Joel, I mean, yeah, country, you're asking them to actually think.
Yeah.
They don't
Okay,
do
well,
that.
okay,
I
wait,
asked
wait.
too much.
No. You guys are not being reasonable. If you're talking about a fight in America, so you're gonna make a boxing card that starts at what, 10 a.m. Because it's a boxing card, that shit takes a while to. So that shit ends up at 5 p.m. So the other card and the other place can be a proper card that starts on a proper on a proper
like
hour.
like
That
like
shit is not
honestly,
gonna work because the first card that started really, really early is not gonna do any numbers. Nobody is gonna be that early in the morning to watch a fucking boxing card.
You know
like
what? Friday night is ripe for the picking for those guys.
and they're so dumb they won't do it. They won't do it.
Well, no one will do Friday nights in any sport. And I'll give you a really extremely stupid example. Uh, you guys know I watch hockey. They will have 14 hockey games on Thursday. They'll have 8 hockey games on Saturday for the prime time slots. Guess how many hockey games they'll have on Friday?
None.
0.
Damn.
The thing is, though, Jason, there is one sport that does have their guys play Friday nights, and that's the NBA. But they're pretty much the only ones. Everyone else chooses not to show their sports on a Friday night, except baseball and basketball are the only ones.
Yes, and they're big enough that they can do that. They're big
y'all
enough that
know,
they can do that.
y'all know, y'all said Friday's opening for the pickings. Guess who's fucking taking advantage of that shit? That Clagger Jake Paul, bro.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense. Like nobody who's gonna compete with them on a Friday night.
Nobody.
Nobody. It's smart, but that's why I keep saying that guy's smart. Like you got to give him. Look,
So
you could say you can say that he's taking advantage. I get it, but that doesn't piss me off. What pisses me off is that boxing bends over. If boxing didn't want this dude doing nothing in it, then he wouldn't be doing nothing in it. But how many people don't you see in boxing that they with it? They with it because the boxers are not as noble as they pretend to be, and because at the end of the day, it's all about money to a lot of them. It's not about fans. It's not about like nah. They don't really give a fuck about that shit. If they can make a dollar, they gonna make a dollar. You know.
that was. Did you see the 3 knockdown rule? that came out, I think today.
Which one with Dana White?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Yeah, Dana's talking shit about Eddie, bro. Which I mean, okay. But
That's cool.
I saw like the thing that I took from it was something Steve Kim said. Cause Dana was talking shit about Eddie, and he was like, Eddie, where have you been the last 20 years? And then Kim said they haven't built anything. Every time there's a market that they can open up, the promoters always say, "Oh, well, this casino's giving us more money." The promoters are they have a lot of blame because they're greedy. Fighters are greedy. I'm gonna be greedy and I'm gonna stream all that shit illegally, bro.
I'm gonna be real with you. Dana is like I'm not against Zuffa boxing, right? But you a little dog barking from behind the fence, homie. You not really competing with Eddie. You not. You not competing with nobody because if you had to, they would sink you. That's why you didn't get in sooner. I'm not knocking them, but it is the truth. You see how difficult they made it for Eddie and DAZN, right? To break into the American market in 2018, right?
Yep.
Dana, if you didn't have Turkey and the WWE backing you, you wouldn't have a foot to get in by. You wouldn't. And even now, it's questionable whether or not you really even in it. It's questionable because you got B tier fighters. You're gonna have a congratulations. You'll have 450 B tier fighters that ain't competing with nobody on Matchroom, on Queensbury, on Top Rank. None of your nobody that signed to you. In terms of promotion, you're not competing with nobody. Because you could do a Josh Warrington show in Leeds, and it'll probably generate more fucking money than a Zuffa boxing show. You could do Johnny Fisher and all his college freaks that follow him around, and that might generate more money. There's only two ways for you guys to compete as promoters. Either you make your fighters fight each other, and you won't win that Zuffa, or you compete in terms of receipts. Who is generating more money with their stuff? And Matchroom is in the black. They're always in the black. Always. They're always up. So I don't see how you could talk shit about it. To me, I don't see in what arena you could talk shit about Eddie. Now, we got my man Mario Munguia here. He's having an argument with Drew about Boot. I think it's about Boots and Charlo and why they should fight. I'm waiting for Drew so we could set the stage and get it popping. Shout out to my man Darren
Oh
Hodges.
boy, here we go.
Shout out to my man Darren Hodges for the money from
Yeah.
Australia. I appreciate that. So
Well,
Mario,
there's-
just
there's
state your
two ways.
case. Like Mario, state your case. Like, what is it
Yeah,
that you
champ.
and Drew are arguing?
First of all, Ring IQ, I appreciate you bringing me on, and I appreciate you being so not authoritative. What is the word? Like, you're always ready to just put it out there, right? You don't need people to be going back and forth with bullshit or whatever. I'm gonna make it super simple. First of all, I'm not pretending this is my idea, right? Shout out to Abe Gonzalez, fightsatw.com, wrote a great article on what he believes the three most significant realistic choices. Remember, realistic is a key word in this phrasing. And the way he sees it is Barao is in there, most likely less clout, right? Verge is in there, least likely, right? Because first of all, he's got another fight, and Boots is going to sit on the shelf for 6 months. That's not what we want either. So you look at it, Jermell Charlo presents a multi-pronged case for why it could be him. Now, first, before any of it, of course I want Verge. Of course I want Xander. But I'm sorry, Ring IQ. You have been covering this sport long enough, and I've been covering this sport long enough to know it's stupid to expect it. Not stupid, but maybe overly
you're right.
optimistic, right?
No, you're right.
So then,
to me, it's stupid to expect it. Like, bro, that's
I
common
appreciate your
sense.
candor.
It's not gonna, yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
I appreciate you not censoring yourself. And so when I look at it, I say, okay, Mel is not in his prime at all. Okay. He does not represent the top tier of this division. And so saying him in Boots is for this grand world championship ignores too much of what's gone on while Mel has not been around. That said, nobody ever beat him for those 154 titles. And the only fight he lost was the fight that you very clearly and very accurately said he would lose. And he did We can't punish him for going up and daring to be as great as Crawford and failing when everyone expected him to do it. If he'd succeeded, then we'd be talking about possibly one of the greatest of this era. But he failed, and he failed miserably, like most people expected that watch the sport long enough and know what a size advantage does for the fighter who's been active at the higher weight. So Mel gives us the ability to not break the lineage. I fully believe that one day Boots and Verge will fight. And when that day comes, don't we want to be able to say that it's for the super welterweight title? Okay, the ones that all the greats before us fought, even the ones that were in the era of the ultra pack super. Dude, this era that we experienced where 154 was just hot and then not, and then hot again, and then jam-packed, and then not, and then jam-packed. It went on for the last decade. So when they fight, I want it all to be on the line, not a bunch of belts that were acquired because, you know, they were the highest bidders and their promoters and managers were able to finesse them into situations where they acquire these belts. No, I want to be able to say that Boots beat the guy that beat the guy that beat the guy that beat the guy. Okay. And so
I think the problem with that, I think there's a problem with that formula. I think the main problem with that formula, Boots didn't lose it at 154, but it does feel like it got reset because a new crop of champions sprouted in his absence. The main thing is
to reset.
Look, I don't mind the idea of Jermel and Boots, right? Like I don't mind it, but I'm skeptical that Jermel at his age, he's in his mid-30s. He hasn't made that fucking weight in 3 years, bro. He ain't made 150. He ain't made that shit since the second Castaño fight. Yes. He ain't made that shit. So it's been 3 years since he made that weight, and it's been 2 years since the man even had a fucking fight. So it's a good shout if he were to come, because I know he's been saying it. Yeah, he's been saying it on his Instagram stories. But where are you? Where are you? And then you see, because my thing with Charlo is this: nothing is really stopping these guys from coming back, and that kind of goes over people's heads that you don't have to come back with PBC. You choose that. If you went to Eddie and said, "Yo, Eddie, I'm trying to come back. Can you give me a couple tune-up fights and we could build something?" Or you go to somebody, right? Because look at what Angelo Leo did. When Angelo Leo lost to Stephen Fulton, shit happens. He went to Pro Box. He had a couple stay busy fights.
Great example, dude.
No, he's a fucking example.
Great example. He revived his entire career doing that.
Right? Lamont Roach, same thing. He loses. He used to be a Golden Boy. He used to be a Golden Boy. He loses to Jamel Herring on Top Rank. Shit happens. He goes to Pro Box. He has like 2-3 fights. Bing, he's back in the shit. Well, Mel, nobody's stopping you from coming back, bro. Like really, like and the moment that he was posting all that shit, I made a fucking joke about it because I'm like, I don't think this dude is gonna come back. I think he found Chat GPT and he was playing with it and he was posting that shit to Insta because I'm like, yo, the dude is 30 something. He's 30 something. He ain't getting down to 154. I would sooner expect Charlo versus Adames before Charlo sets foot at 154, and I don't even know if I can expect that. I don't even know if I can expect that. But
and this is the only point I want to counter real quick because I agree with all of the things you said, and real quick, I want to make it very clear that I agreed with Drew when he said this. Right, Drew said the same thing, and I didn't make it clear enough, so that's my L. But you're right. Does Mel even make 154, right? What does he look like if he can? Or is he a shell of himself now? And then making him drop all that weight in the fat camp makes it even worse. But I say this, if at the end of the day, this guy is likely to get a big time fight again, right? Stepping into something he doesn't deserve, getting a Manny Pacquiao-esque, Keith Thurman-esque shot that isn't as deserved, right? If that's going to happen, then wouldn't it be better if Boots were to take him out in a situation where he loses, he gets exposed? We don't have to worry about Mel's comeback and whether he gets in there with somebody like a Canelo again, undeserving. So, and then on top of that, right? Ultimately, the Verge fight gets made when the Boots Ennis radar is raised, right? His exposure to the commercial audience is raised. Now, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think that should be the way, but that's the way of the promoter. That's how boxing has taught us it's operated over the last 30, 40 years. Okay, so that's not my rules. So if that's the case, if Boots is going to have to raise his profile in order to share the ring, with one of the hottest upstart Mexicans, potential crossover stars in the world right now, then I think beating Mel gets us there faster than him fighting another Lima-esque opponent next. And that is my biggest fear, right? And maybe this is my problem is I'm like, please give us Mel and don't give us another shit Lima fight. And that's not what we should be asking for. We should be asking for more as fans that are expected to pay $50, $75, $100 a pay-per-view. But ultimately, I feel like it's a plan that works out for all involved in a way that Barao might not. I'd give Boots more credit for beating Barao than the last version of Mel we saw. That said, I don't think Golden Boy or Matchroom see the profile raised the same.
Look, the main caveat is honestly because look, some people are actually high that he knocked out Lima. Like you. I know you see some people. They're jerking off. They're fucking excited, man. They fucking love it, right? The Boots, the heavy Boots guys. So if the argument is, could knocking out Jermel do something for Boots' profile, I would say yes, because casuals really don't give a fuck. The casuals don't.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a. All they gonna know is, oh, that's Mel. Oh, right. The shit is, Mel gotta want it. That's the main thing. Mel gotta want it. I'm telling you, if Mel went to Eddie right now, yo, dog, I want to fight Boots. You think Eddie wouldn't want to make that shit? Like, hell yeah, I want to make that shit, because this motherfucker ain't made this weight in 3 years. We're gonna kill him. We're gonna fucking kill him. But Mel talking like the Chalo brothers is a package, bro. Them dudes act just to act and talk just to talk. This dude been talking about coming back for every year. It's like the fucking groundhog that comes out and sees a shadow. Every fucking year, Chalo. I'm on my way back, dog. I'm on my way back. And then you don't hear from him
for sure. And to cut in real quick here, just like with Charlo, like every year he tells that, and it's getting more and more depressing. Like we made the big rules. Dear diary, I have no friends.
No friends, right? Like he started. Like I thought. Look, the Spence shit actually makes a lot of sense for the both of them. You ain't fought in a minute. He ain't fought in a minute. You're coming off a loss. He's coming off a loss. It makes perfect sense. And if you did it in Texas, look, I don't know if it's going to be a mega fight, but it could do something if you push it.
It would sell.
If you push it. But the thing is, does Errol want it? No, Errol is growing his dreadlocks out right now. He on his Bob Marley right now. He not worried about boxing. And Chalo, Leo, the one that said it, I think. Chalo was probably drunk when he uploaded most of that shit. He was probably pissed drunk just uploading shit to Instagram. I wouldn't be surprised if Mel Charlo don't box again for another year and then pop up as an opponent for somebody, because it's taking too long, dog. There's no way you come back in a real fight with a Boots, for example, and you didn't have a tune-up. And it's not even that I'm recommending it. It's just that I know y'all don't move like that. Y'all don't move like that. You ain't about to jump in there with Boots off a 2-year layoff. Hell no, you're not about to do that. And same with Errol. Errol took that no tune-up shit. Brody, it's going on damn near 3 years since your ass fought. 3 years. And you still got people on Twitter. Yeah, yo, you about to come back, yo, man, there, yo, you ain't seen, yo. Yeah, whatever, dog. Like I said, that motherfucker not coming back this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't come back at all. Well, for what? Get your ass beat? You want your other eye to get fucked up? It's the only thing that's gonna happen.
Bro, I was talking about how Espinoza was ducking Xander Zayas and all this other shit, and someone actually came to me and was like, he was gonna fight Errol Spence. You think he was gonna not fight that money fight to take on Xander Zayas? Oh, was he? Well, I must have missed that shit.
Saying like it's not a bad recommendation just because people fight former champions all the time. If you're gonna, that's the angle, that Charlo is the former champion. Whether you accept him as lineal or he was lineal, right? Yeah, people fight former champions all the time. That's really not the problem. The real problem is Charlo don't really want to fight, dog. If you wanted to fight, you would have been back by now. You probably still spending money that you made with Canelo. That's why you not back yet. And when that money run out, then you might come back. But you might be like 37 by then. Because how old is
thing with Claude, Maidana? It's this thing where you make the bag, and if you don't have the I don't even want to say heart because it's not even that, but if you don't have the heart for the sport anymore, like it's hard to get up at 6 a.m. to go spar or go run and then come back at 12 and then do the other thing and then do, 12 rounds of heavy bag, 12 rounds of mitt work. Like it's hard to do that. It's hard to get punched in the face every day when you're not locked in. We see
And
Tank
least
right
of
now.
all, when
Never took a loss, and he's least locked in as he ever been.
and he's burnt out. He's burnt
Burnt
out
out.
from
Best
dodge.
word to say. Yes. Well said.
He's burnt out from dodging. Like his ankles hurt. How much he been dodging motherfuckers. Like he need to sit down. So he fucking with Jake. If you look at Charlo, the main thing is 154, which is so bizarre. That's actually the money division right now, more than 160. What's your real problem, Charlo? Two things. One, you can't make that weight anymore. You can't. Two, you don't want to fight. If you wanted to fight, you could have had a layup already on Pro Box. You telling me they couldn't get you on an undercard on Pro Box or something, on fucking Matchroom or something? Brody, people, they'll work with you. It's a fact. Them dudes will fuck with you if you really trying to do some business. You're not trying to do no business, bro. If otherwise you would have been back already. Very simple. Very simple.
I have to say, I see what you're saying, brother, about Jermell Charlo being the higher profile fight, but I can't see as realistic. I see Bakram as a more realistic option for Boots' next opponent, and nobody wants to fight that motherfucker.
Me too. Like, I think that's going to be the order, and I think that it's going to end up being some bullshit. See, what's going to end up happening is, look, it's been a fucking year since the Tim Tszyu fight, right? It's been a fucking year. I'm telling you, yo, dog, I would be surprised if Bakram even finds somebody to fight in between now and next year, right? So when Boots fight him, he might be coming off a layoff like Stanionis was. That's probably how it's going to happen. Fight Baru early next year. Then in the spring, fight Bakram. And Bakram will be coming off of a 1.5 year layoff. Perfect. You think that they took advantage with Stanionis? They'll take advantage with Bakram. They'll do him like that too. And he'll probably get clout off of that because everybody fake scared of Bakram. You know what I mean? But Charlo, he's a non-fact. To me, he's a non-factor. If you wanted to fight, you would have been back by now. When Joseph Parker got knocked the fuck out by Joe Joyce, he didn't wait a year. He came right back. He fought in 2 small ones, and he came right back. Charlo, where you at? Where you at? Chat GPT?
Charlo's drinking his life away.
What do we call 154, Jules? The new 168? It's deep enough, but no one wants to fight each other.
Yeah. And there are other examples of that. Like when Keith Thurman was out for 3 years, right? If you wanted to Keith, if you wanted to fight, you could have went to Eddie. Yo, Eddie, I want to fight your boy Conor Ben. And Eddie would have made that. Eddie would have made that. But you don't want to fight. That's why you was out for 3 years. And then y'all wait to the point to where you don't have a choice. Bitch won't give you no pussy no more because you ain't got no money. I got to fight, right? I got bills. I got, you know what I'm saying? I got problems. Got to fight. You wait too long. But you could have went to Eddie and had a more winnable fight with Conor Ben than fucking around with Sebastian.
Yeah. Hey, Jules, but doesn't a lot of these dudes who are on PBC, especially the guys that you're naming, aren't they really just tied up because of contractual obligations? Like, I've never heard any of those motherfuckers legitimately say, if I want a fight with another promoter, I can just go and get a fight with another promoter.
Chequea que el papá de este mamagüevo, Danny Garcia, ¿qué él dijo? What did he just tell Fight Hub? He stayed loyal without a contract.
Yeah, they don't give these guys contracts. They're not locking them down. That's the reason. Listen, the reason why Al has been so successful, people have to understand this, is because when they go to Al, he has arrangements they've never seen before, right? Al makes his money very, very different from the way that Oscar makes his money or Eddie makes his money, right? Their back ends work a completely different way, right? Like interviewing PC fighters over the last 10 years on TBV, the one thing that I've learned is that their contracts are never what we see, right? Never, not really. That's never the full payment. And the other thing is that they do have the freedom to go anywhere else, but it is, I don't want to call it a cult because that's too strong a word, but there's a belief in Al based on aspects of the sport that are way too advanced for me to understand. And that loyalty is there because every single time there's a certain piece of the pie that they know is going to be there with Al. It's not to say it won't be there with Oscar or Eddie.
I want to simplify
Try it,
Mario,
please. Thank
because
you.
it is loyalty. There is a loyalty there. Don't get me like, yeah, they're loyal to Al, but it's also fear. It's fear. Look, Stefan wasn't afraid to fight Naoya Inoue. He wasn't afraid. Now, he seemed to have a rematch with Brandon, and he said, no, I want to fight Inoue. He went. He did it. And it didn't work out, but credit to him. He did it. They have the autonomy, if they want, to go somewhere else. They choose not to. They choose not to. You could say loyalty, yeah, but some of that shit is fear. You could have fought fucking for. You could have fought. You another one. You could have fought Conor Ben. I'm 100% sure. Eddie was looking for motherfuckers just like you to put his boy in there with when he was at 47. Yeah, Herb.
And I was saying that I lost it.
But
to make a long story short, the reason that Al Heyman, and it's nuanced because I've wondered about it myself. Like, I don't understand why these guys keep fucking with Al when they end up all fucked up like Adam Kovnowski. But near as I could tell, Angel gave a part of the game away that Danny didn't have a contract. So I'm like, hey, why don't Danny got a contract? No paper trail, no evidence that you're violating the Muhammad Ali Act. Very simple. How the fuck has Al Heyman been able to operate as a manager, an advisor, and everybody knows he's a fucking promoter. You're brokering deals with networks. You're clearly a promoter. You have a stable of fighters. It's your PBC is your baby. So how is it that you've been able to do this in front of everybody? Well, if there ain't no contract, there ain't no evidence that you are violating the Muhammad Ali Act, and nobody can use it against you.
I think, though, another part of the answer is this, right? Like, nobody has the experience that Al has in the entertainment game, right? While De La Hoya and Eddie have, long ties in the fight game and pool or snicker or whatever it is and darts. At the end of the day, Al comes from a place in entertainment that, can I cuss, right? I can cuss. That fucks its artists more than any genre of entertainment. This is like historically speaking, right? The data all points to the fact that musicians forever have been getting fucked. And you have people like Prince that tried to help the game out, and all these other people give you the blueprint, right, of what the fuck was going on out here. And Al comes from that place. And I'm not saying that he's doing anything wrong or illegal or anything like that. I can't, I wouldn't make those claims because I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want you to get in trouble either. And so I'm not going to make those claims at all. All I'm going to say is that we know that business screws people over in ways, and we know that there are shortcuts you learn dealing with promoters that are doing 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 venues for people like Beyonce and Drake and the Red Hot Chili Peppers and all that stuff. So you bring that kind of logistics and that kind of experience into a fight game riddled with holes to take advantage of, right? And you said it, Muhammad Ali Act isn't that great in the first place, but it does protect, but it doesn't protect when you find ways around it. And so ultimately, everything you say is right, but again, there's this big mystery about what it really is. And real quick, I just want to say one last thing real quick, is I got to jump off too. And Ring IQ, so much appreciation for you having me on and being able to bring this to the table like this. But I just wanted to say, I agree with y'all with Mel in so many ways, but I wonder how much do we make him suffer the sins of his brother, right? Because while Mel has
it's not us, Mario.
Listen, I don't think it is you. I don't think it is you. Not at all. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
It's just more that no one here, for example, is averse to him coming back and doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. It's totally just the reality of that he's the one that doesn't want to. We ain't stopping.
Agreed fully.
If you want to fight, Mel, go fight.
Agreed. And I didn't mean to make it sound like I was saying you or the panel or anything like that. What I mean is, like, in general, people think of Mel in the same kind of vein as they think of Maul. And I think it's so unfair because you have Maul on these IG lives clearly obliterated out of his mind during moments where you expect him to get the Canelo fight, the David Benavidez fight. All these different huge fights linger, and here he is getting absolutely high or drunk or both on IG Live. Meanwhile, Mel did work to undispute the division, right? I just think that while there are parallels between them, obviously they're twins. I do think that when it's all said and done, there needs to be a very big distinction between the career of Jermell Charlo and that of Jermall Charlo. And if neither of them fight today, right, it needs to be known how much more Mel deserves to be recognized in this sport.
Listen, I will agree to, because the thing, it's a nuanced conversation. I've always given Mel more flowers than I give Maul. Stop clearing your throat like that, bro. Mute your mic. That shit is too loud. I've always given Mel his flowers for unifying his division. I always felt that Maul is getting too much hype, more than Mel, when Mel's the one who's unifying his division. But a part of the problem that disgraced Mel, and the reason that a lot of people are sour on him, it was the aesthetic of the Canelo fight. You talk shit for years about this guy, bro.
Yes.
And when you got up there on the stage, everybody seen what you did. Though, once again, that performance was 2 years ago. That's not your that performance is not the real problem. The real problem is you ain't come back yet. So the last memory we have of you is that performance. It's up to you to erase it. You could have been came back. You could have been came back.
And one more thing besides the Canelo performance, because it was that, you also clearly and obviously ducked Timzo.
Oh yeah. He ducked that guy, man. And it's crazy how it aged, but it's very obvious.
It is crazy how it aged.
It's crazy how it aged because Tim, and I feel bad for Tim, but Tim jumped off of Mount fucking Everest, bro.
Fucking poor.
What you gonna do?
That's all you gotta say.
It's not a bad shout to say that if Jermell were able to, return to junior middleweight and challenge the people that are there, like, hey, the fucking king is back, swinging dicks, talking shit. Yeah, that would be awesome if he wanted to do it. I'm just saying that dude don't want to do that because he would have been did that. And personally, I don't think he can do that. He's in his mid-30s. He's going to get down to 54.
I think your instincts on this one are spot on. Listen, thanks for having me on Infighting FX. Mario Mugi, I appreciate all y'all. Ring IQ. Anytime you want me on, anytime, bro, send me the link. I'm on.
All right, bro.
Appreciate it.
And listen, I'm going to go to sleep. Next episode of The Relay is already made. Country? Where's Country?
He fell asleep.
Man. He probably fell asleep during the debate. I'll say one closing thing real quick. If it's true that PBC guys are not under contract, I have even less fucking respect for them than I already did. Like, you're doing this yourselves now.
All I know is that Angel literally said that Danny stayed loyal to them without a contract. Is that everybody's situation? We don't know that. We can only apply that to Danny. But that's just saying that, Danny, if you didn't have a contract, right, you didn't have to sit out for 3 years. So what is your daddy complaining about? You could have went to a lot of places and got a fight. You could have went to Golden Boy and got a fight. Maybe you fight Alexis Rocha, right, on Golden Boy. You could have went to Matchroom. Maybe you had a fight with Conor Ben over there when he was at 147. You could have went to Top Rank. Maybe you have a fight with Mean Machine or somebody. There's plenty of opportunities out there. So if you said, because, Angel was complaining, he was basically shitting on the PBC saying that, yo, they didn't get him a fight, blah, blah, he stayed loyal, blah, blah, bunch of shit. It's like, well, that's your fucking fault. That's your fucking fault. If they ain't got a contract, the fuck you waiting for? Go fight.
At the same time, Jules, I can see why they wouldn't have a contract, like you said, because then that just makes it easier for them not to be able to sue Al Heyman when he doesn't provide fights.
Exactly. You see what I mean? That there's no paper trail. You can't sue him for services that he didn't render when he was never on the hook to render services. Y'all, listen. I already know what he do. The dude is a good talker. Heyman is a very good talker because he seems to convince these guys into these situations that it's like, yo, you don't see what's going on here? He don't owe you nothing, but you end up doing what he want. But he don't owe you nothing because it's not on paper. It's like the shit don't exist.
Yeah, I think.
Go back to Stephen Fulton. Look at him. Had to fight to get the Inoue fight, and has been sort of in this fight limbo for a while. Finally starts to get fights. His shit keeps getting canceled. and he's on Twitter going, "Oh fuck it, I'll fight at super featherweight or I'll go to welterweight." And like, bro, you know what's going on, and you're still doing this shit. And you're
Basically,
apparently
go ahead,
not on the-
Herb.
I think that their loyalty comes out of fear, because I think Al was overpaying them first and foremost. And so later on in the crunch, it kind of makes it hard for you to leave. Like, this guy paid me all this money, and I'm gonna sit around and wait for him. And so their loyalty comes out of fear. And I think that Charlo, he's too good to go on pro box to fight because he was undisputed, I guess. And Jared Hurd was a unified champ, but he went over there. I mean, what's the big deal?
I mean, look, like Joseph Parker fought a couple of local guys. After Joe Joyce knocked his ass out, he goes back down under, goes to Australia. He fought a couple of local guys, bro. Real small time guys. The real shit is, it's like anything else. If you want to fight, you gonna fight. You'll find a way to get to a fight. Wilder just fought in a fucking shoebox in Wichita, Kansas. He wanted to fight. He wanted to fight. Like, he fought a guy. He found a guy. Wasn't a very good guy, but he found a guy and he fought him. So, Charlo, if you want to get down, you'd be getting down.
I think a lot of these PBC dudes, Jules, because fucking Heyman still owes them money. That's probably why they're so loyal to him, because they're waiting to get paid.
It could. I mean, like, in all honesty, it could be so many things, but you could see that something about this situation is clearly off, and it is really exclusive to the PBC. You got guys under contract sitting on the shelf waiting for a fight date, but there's no contract. Danny, go somewhere else. Then something is keeping you there. I say, yeah, it's fear. It's fear of Al Heyman. Sure, maybe you afraid of him, but you also afraid of what's out there. Like, bro, come on, dog. I'm telling you, Mean Machine would have knocked that motherfucker out. Mean Machine.
And to bring it full circle, Wilder was, as Dwayne said in the comments, Wilder was so desperate for a fight, he fought on a Friday night.
Fought on a Friday on Black Prime in Wichita, Kansas. We out of here.